Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It is Marvin speaking. We're just going to get into the footballer Thomas Partey granted bail on 8 charges. So this is on the 5th of August 2025, and it's a BBC News report. So the former Arsenal footballer Thomas Partey has been granted conditional bail after being charged with five counts of R and 1 count of sexual assault. The 32-year-old Ghanaian appeared at Westminster Magistrate Court on Tuesday, charged with 5 counts of R against 2 women and a charge of sexual assault against a third woman. The alleged offences took place between 2001 and 2022 when he was playing for the North London club Arsenal. He was charged 4 days after leaving Arsenal when his contract expired at the end of June. His next appearance is at the Old Bailey. The Old Bailey, London people. This is serious. On the 2nd of September, Mr. Partey was wearing a black zip neck jumper, black trousers, and carried a navy blazer. And he entered court. He stood with his arms behind his back in the dock. He spoke to confirm his name and confirmed he understood his bail conditions. His bail conditions state he cannot contact any of the 3 women and must notify police of any permanent changes to address or international travel. The charges follow investigations by detectives, which started on February the 22nd after police received a report of R. Mr. Partey's lawyer, Jenny Wiltshire, previously said he denies all the charges against him, adding he welcomed the opportunity to finally clear his name. The footballer was reported to be prepared to join Spanish team Villarreal on a 1-year contract with possibly of a further 12-month extension, depending obviously how he gets on at Villarreal. I mean, it was interesting because my brother brought this up ages ago. One of the reasons why he wasn't playing is it was said that he was carrying a bit of an injury, and then all of a sudden he started playing again, and he was one of Arsenal's best players in that scenario. Obviously, basically, I couldn't play the video at the end of the day because of there are a lot of things this guy was saying that I can't air on YouTube. But what I can say is look at it. When you look at the charge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, it's really, really serious. Really, really serious. I'm just going to want to read before we move on this case. We all know Mendy was doing something wrong though, because he's not being proven guilty as yet. That's great. Let's not forget how they treated Ozil when he supported Unigers. Yeah, Arsenal still played him. Yeah, they did after a while. When he was, I think, he was allowed to, he wasn't remanded. And, even though it's going to court, he still hasn't been charged basically with anything at the moment. But like I said, it is very, very disturbing. If it was just one, you'd probably say is she in it for the money. But like I said, once it's 3 women, you've got it. It's taken really, really, really seriously at the end of that, and he's been charged, and this case is going to the Old Bailey, and the charges are there. Let's move on to part 2, people. See what other basically sleuths are saying on this. We move on to part 2, people.
Rely on Twitter to defend rapists, I swear. I've woken up this morning to a shocking number of people telling me that 5 different women with 5 different cases with enough evidence to charge Thomas Partey are very, very clearly lying. It's so clear that they're lying and they just want money. I make it very clear that I will eat my words if he is found innocent, and I will feel very sorry for him. But I just don't understand why there would be a hate train. Always there's a hate train towards victims who come forward saying that they have been essayed by somebody. It's always, oh, well, they're clearly lying. Why
Not
would
always.
you do that? Maybe it's because for me, I would never do that to somebody. I know how much damage that would do to somebody, just in the same way that I know that a lot of people probably wouldn't grape women. So that's why they feel so strongly that he wouldn't do it. I just don't understand what your out is here. If you're defending a rapist and then it turns out that the rapist is a rapist, Yeah, you're gonna be put in fucking hot water, mate. You look like a grape apologist. Like, that's not good. But I can hold my hands up if it does turn out that he is innocent and say, oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't really look that bad on me, because obviously, you know, people should have strong opinions and empathy towards victims. I don't know. It's just a bit weird to me why people are so strongly believing that every single woman lies about stuff that's happened to her. It makes me sick, man. And things just fall through the cracks when it comes to the police anyway, especially for rich people. I mean, look at Dick.
She really did make some good points, like I said, but like I said, it's you know, it has to go through court to see whether he's guilty or not guilty. We could go back to the Andrew Tate case, which some of those charges are still going on as well, but a lot of them are being dropped. But I mean, with 2025, so I don't know. I'm always a bit hesitant in when cases go on a little while. Why? Because, like I said, if you know, if they've charged him, surely they've got enough. I know it's going to the Old Bailey, but why is it taking so long? I mean, we're 2025, and obviously people started coming forward in 22. I can't understand why it's taking so long. And at the end of the day, and I always think if more than one person comes forward, there's always something in it, sadly, to say. I want him to be innocent at the end of the day, but if more than one person comes through and goes to court as well and says what happened, it's up to the jury, obviously, to basically see whether he's guilty or not guilty at the end of the day. It's very, very serious allegations against him. So someone says, Benjamin Mendy is an example. I know they want to take Hakimi. Bella, no one gets found innocent. If he gets found not guilty, it doesn't mean he's innocent. It just means he's not proven. But like I said, whatever happens in this case, whether guilty or not guilty, you know, people will be looking at him again just in case cases like this arise. Do you know what I mean? Especially if 5 women are coming out and saying that he's basically essayed them. Let's wait and see what happened. Well said. He's guilty by the press. Why will you say he's guilty? Are you a judge? I will stop supporting Arsenal from now all the way to the new Man United support, because obviously he's signed a contract with Villarreal, and you know, there was basically uproar there because a lot of fans didn't really want him basically coming over there at the end of the day with, you know, a court case of SA hanging over his head. Do you know what I mean? So this is really, really serious stuff, you know. But like I said, we have to obviously wait until to see, you know, what comes out in court. I think that's very, very important. It's good to obviously get people's point of views that maybe support Arsenal or have heard of the Thomas Partey incident. Let's get straight into
now
this.
Where I can't post a video about someone asking me to talk about Thomas Partey. So, first of all, if you're asking for my opinions on an alleged rapist, check your head. I was very vocal during the Mason Greenwood situation. I'm a massive believer in women's rights, so to try and ignore this, I don't know, just didn't feel right to me just because I'm an Arsenal fan. You have to tiptoe around this extremely carefully. Obviously, everything's alleged, but this situation is not good. There are people on this app and on Twitter that I just don't think are old enough to understand the sort of like volume of the situation.
Agreed.
This is potentially altered a woman's life forever, and they're more worried about who's playing DM next season. I think it gets to the point where it's embarrassing that Arsenal will let him to continue to play. People have compared to the Basuma situation. I think this is probably now getting more comparable to the Mason Greenwood situation. It's sad that there's so many situations that this is comparable to already. With everything so public and in the public eye now, with messages and whatnot being released, it's just ridiculous to keep him playing. Basuma has continued to play. Everything about his case has been behind closed doors and under investigation. I still don't think it's right necessarily. You know, someone's been accused of sexual assault and rape and you're letting them carry on playing. I don't care who you are, I don't care how good you are, I don't care how much money you're making, your job suspends you. I don't really want to waffle on about it. It's probably the only video I'm going to be making. I've literally just woken up, but it's been on my mind for the last few days. So yeah, fuck rapists or potential rapists at this point.
That was Taylor, on Arsenal supporter, on Thomas Partey. It's like I said, it is very, very serious. And like I said, Thomas Partey was a very, very good player. But like I said, you're not above the law. if he has done something wrong. And they're alleged, but like I said, he's been charged with something. So the police and the prosecution services must have something. But I've got to say again, he's not actually been charged. He's been charged, but like I said, he has not been found guilty as yet, because that's due to go to the Old Bailey, which is going to be a trial. So it is very, very, very serious. And obviously, it is a very, very sensitive case, because we've got to think about the victims as well. And one of the big questions is why would 5 women come forward and say these things? They can't all be wrong. That's in my eyes anyway. Welcome back to the final part. This is Janice, and she's talking about basically Thomas Partey. And I think she's basically got a Ghanaian background as well. Let's get straight into this.
This is Thomas Partey. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. He's a Ghanaian football player. He's currently playing for Arsenal, if I'm correct. Now, he's been charged with multiple rape. Listen, a lot of my Ghanaian brothers, a lot here in the UK, have been charged with rape or whatever. Similar cases like this. And this is mostly because, I am not gonna lie, I feel like my Ghanaian brothers do not accept it when you say no. They don't accept rejection. I've experienced something whereby someone approached me and was interested in me, and I said no. He took it the wrong way, insulted me, did whatever. I refused to give my number, and it turned into a whole insult. Ghana for many men are Ghana for because of similar cases like this, because they refuse rejection. They refuse to accept the word no. If they approach you and they want your number and you say no, it turns into a whole different case. It baffles me. Like, if you say no, I don't want to give you my number. I am not interested. I've got a boyfriend. Do you know what they say? And your boyfriend I may pay, and your boyfriend I may send a pay, when I may so pay, your boyfriend I'm person in the casa, when I'm person in the casa. Like, what in the no do you not understand? It's unfortunate. I hope it's not true. If he hasn't done it, I hope you'll be able to fight your case and whatever. But I feel I'm using his situation to come out with this video and say, when somebody says no, it's a no. Matima say a mouse yaba. Now by seeing the pen or say no, a no, a dabi, or see me pet. Down the life of man. But me Ghana for any animal more, no, memano. Ghana for memano. Oh, can there be men pa? They don't accept it. And me bumper is Thomas Partey no, you bet me out of any case, I hope saying no credit. But I no credit, Monsieur, we Mumfa Nasa, Monsieur Nyansa say, so because you know, and that must say.
Yeah, I think she started, speaking in her mother's tongue. I'd imagine that was Ghanaian there, people. Reading some of the comments, I think some of you are getting it all wrong with her message. She's just using Partey case as just an example. This is my thoughts, not talking about him, but trying to advise some African men let understand her message. Thank you, baby. I think she was being really sincere, to be honest with you. I wouldn't take it wrong in what she's saying is at the end of the day, because there are some men out there who you know, from every background, who don't like taking rejection from a woman. And sadly, it's a part of life. Not everybody's going to like you, the person who you are, or find you attractive or link to you. It's just as simple as that. You move on and you find someone who is attracted to you and finds you interesting. It's just a part of life, people. Sorry to tell you that you were disappointed, two Ghanaians. Is that you want to worsen the case of what at all you were trying to say? No, I don't think she isn't. It could go for anyone. She's just giving an example. and I think people can get emotionally triggered by it at the end of the day. She's not blaming anyone. She's just giving some experience in what she's seen. But madam, human being makes mistakes, so we'll need to. Yeah, but this isn't a mistake. This is a massive mistake. I think those words are going to trigger a lot of people. I just want to look at the response on this. This is interesting. I believe in partey. They framed him. It's racism. Someone says 3 different women. Okay, that's what all of us are thinking, because this what are capable of doing this like that. Everyone knows women are liars using their something to frame people. Wow, this is quite deep. Letter stood up for Thomas, top creating fake news, so body who presented of you saying it's your own opinion. The bottom line is, like I said, that we've got to look at the facts. The police have charged Thomas Partey, but he's not been convicted as yet, because it's going to the Old Bailey. If any case goes to the Old Bailey, it's very, very seriously. And like I said, if the prosecution think that there is basically something that is very, very serious, they're going to put it through court. And like I said, he's got restrictions on when he can travel. He's probably got a sign on at the police station a couple of times a week as well. This is difficult. And especially if he's going to play for Villarreal as well. And then there's that headache where a lot of people are thinking, because he's basically, on an SA charge, and it's going to go through court, then he shouldn't be playing football. But Arsenal were playing him. They were, I think it was last year or the year before that, my brother was talking about this. It's hush-hush that basically Thomas Partey, there's rape, allegations, should I say, against him, and that basically that was one of the reasons he wasn't be playing, and the club say he was injured. So it is a bit strange, and I do think basically because he's a famous professional footballer, sometimes they're given a buy for certain things. But like I said, I think obviously this woman was just making a statement, and I think she was correct in saying it. At the end of the day, she's just basically giving pointers out to men just to be careful, and I truly respect that. Let me know what you think, people. People are going to get emotionally charged on this case at the end of the day, but I'm one of those. You sometimes got to take your emotions out of it. Look at the facts. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and follow the channel. Let me know your thoughts, because obviously this is quite a deep case. Thank you.